everybody. It is me, as always, Tristan J, ReActionExaminer, coming to you with another Qwiktro. Today's game is the biggest topic of the past couple weeks, Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a good game. I am a big fan of the series. Unfortunately, I think it's just not as big a leap like GTA 2 to 3 was, or 3 to San Andreas, or San Andreas to 4. It's just very modular. The name of the game is basically improvements. The one thing I really do like about this game is that you can replay any mission, which you couldn't do in any of the other Grand Theft Autos before. I'm pretty sure, unless some of the DLC stuff or the PSP games you could. Anyway, I'm going to go through one of the heist missions. Actually, the first heist mission you can do. And what the heist missions are, they're basically the set piece things of the game. So basically, you set it up. This is a jewelry store one. So basically, your teammate, programmer kind of guy, Lester, he will take you through basically the logistics of everything. And then you get to talk about your approach. Do you want to be the loud boom and goon shoot? Or do you want to be the one in the smart one, basically? And obviously, if you want to be cool, like in the movie Heat or anything like that, you want to go the cool way, basically. You know, the stealthy, whatever. And then you can also choose your crew, which you can see there. They'll have certain skills. And, you know, if you choose someone lower ranking, their cut will be less, but they'll be more likely to screw up. Like, the first time I did this mission, I chose someone with a 7% cut. And, you know, I got more money, but in turn, they crashed and I had to take their stuff or whatever. So, there's pros and cons to choosing your stuff. But it is interesting that it lets you replay missions, one, in different ways, two, with different people. And it's just nice to be able to just have it. I mean, this game is huge enough already. To be able to replay missions is just amazing. I want to shut up just for a couple seconds so you can enjoy the talking for the setup here in just a sec. Yeah.
Now we all know why we're here. We've got a store to take. The plan is simple, elegant. Listen to Lester.
Just to point out, Michael is one of the three characters you can play.
Things go bad, you know the drill.
Lester is the guy with the cane.
We got caught up in a robbery and acted in self-defense. But it's not going to be an issue because everything's going to go just
Franklin on the couch there is another one of the playable characters, next to that tattoo girl.
Have it offline myself, no problem, but you should be able to get us a pretty decent window. How decent depends on the job you do. Now, once it's down, you signal Michael, he makes the call.
Things look good. We should be able to drop the present right through the air vent on the roof. Everybody goes to sleep, no problem. Take our time. If we run into trouble, we move quickly and with force. Any questions? No? Let's go.
All right, so talking over. The performances of the game are all just outstanding, I gotta say. And just, I don't know, Rockstar just is able to find just the most crazy, brilliant voice actors you could possibly imagine. And a lot of times there's kind of unknown people. Randomly, Michael's son is played by Danny Tamborelli, who some of you might remember from Pete and Pete. Hello, my 90s kids. As painstakingly obvious as that make me feel in dating myself. So we're driving now. I should mention for the heist. So when you choose a heist, basically you choose like the smart way, and then there'll be like 2 or 3 other missions that you got to do to prepare for it. Like I had to steal a van for the pest control thing to get it set up, and I had to, I think, take over a van so I can get some smoke grenades, something like that. So while the heists are super cool and being able to replay them negates having to do all that the boring stuff, I just gave it away. It's boring. When you have to set up these missions, that is not fun or cool. It's very tedious. It's like, you know, you feel cool about setting up a heist, but these setup things take too long and just kind of, I guess, depreciate the value of like the actual game itself. Like the heists are awesome, but having to set the things up and just having random, just inconsequential missions in between is just, again, kind of boring. The game well, it's a weird mishmash. On one hand, it's huge, open, and gorgeous. There's lots to do. But on the other hand, a lot of the stuff that you are doing is boring and repetitive and just kind of seems like they're basically just kind of packing it in just so they seem like there's a lot to do. And again, there is a lot to do, but a lot of it is not as good as some of the. So basically, what I'm saying is, to rush ahead, it's the sum of its parts make it a good experience, but a lot of those things in between are just not that stellar. So the missions of the heist, they have like 3 tier parts. Right now, you play as Franklin, or I'm playing Franklin right now, and I got to basically throw the smoke grenade into the shaft, and so you'll get ahead, getting ahead of myself. Basically, there's like different missions, and this is before you meet the third character, Trevor, who is both the best character in the game and also the most psychotic character in the game. But they all have their own skills. They all have special abilities. Like Franklin, if you hit R3 and L3, he can slow down time when he's driving. Michael can slow down time when he's shooting, and Trevor can just go into a berserk insane mode. It's Beside from that, you can level the characters up. Like if you run a lot, you'll be able to get better stamina, which helps you with health and being able to run faster. This weapon wheel here is kind of how you interact with the game, and it kind of slows down time, and it's convenient instead of having to just hit the D-pad and making sure you get the right weapon or pause the game or something like that. But I was just saying, there's 3 characters, and that's kind of cool, a neat concept for the game. And then you can just hit down on the D-pad and switch between characters, which is a really cool way for missions. Like sometimes you have to play that character throughout the mission, but a lot of times once the thing is all set up, you can switch between them very fast. Like if you don't want to drive, you can shoot. Like if you're 2 people in a car, Franklin's driving, Michael's shooting, you could drive if you want to drive, or you can switch to Michael and you can shoot if you prefer shooting better, which is kind of cool because a lot of the missions make you do those things by yourself anyway. So it's kind of frustrating to have that thing in there. If you fail a mission so many times, you can skip it, but then, I don't know, the difficulty is just very uneven, and some of the things just feel very cheap. The checkpoints are at least better, so you don't have to do the whole mission over again, but just some of them just feel so weird. Yeah, and like I said, you can level up, but they all just basically feel the same. It's just a case of quantity over quality. There's a lot of quality in this game, but a lot of it's just unnecessary stuff. But the heist, don't get me wrong, the best part of the game. Nothing feels as good as, again, setting up the whole thing, throwing gas in there, making everybody go to sleep, stealing the money as much as you can, and just feeling badass about it. In terms of controlling the game, everything feels much improved from GTA 4. GTA 4 was actually the first game I ever bought for my PS3. I bought it in April of 2008, just before Metal Gear Solid 4 was out, and I decided to buy it early because GTA came out, and I was like, why not? I like the series. And I liked GTA 4 a lot. I remember it being kind of hard to play at first, and then I actually went back and played it about a month ago just to get myself hyped up for this. And, man, that game is hard to go back to. That is really clunky. Smoothing into this transition now, the game feels a lot better to play, though there's still a little bit of weight to all the characters. The driving is a lot better, but it also takes a while to get used to. And in terms of the mission structure and everything like that, I don't think it really hits its stride until you get the third character, Trevor, till it really just kind of sinks in. And that's about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours of the game, depending on how many side missions and stuff you do. Yeah, it gets good around then. and then after that, it slows down a little bit more, and it's just very uneven, just in terms of everything. Just it's a very uneven experience overall. And see, okay, this is cool. Nothing is more awesome than doing your heist, almost getting away with it, and then fleeing from the scene, and now I'm driving through a sewer. Now that's awesome. There's so many awesome set-piece moments in this game, and like awesome missions. Except when I screwed up and I crashed the game. Which, if you didn't notice, Frank will just kind of flop down the ground. The ragdoll physics in this game are hilarious. They'll just be running, and you can jump into a wall, and then you just go stiff. It's really weird. It's, again, going back to what I just said like a minute ago, it's an uneven experience, just overall. When you're doing something good, and everything is set up right, like the A-Team says, I love it when a plan comes together. And it's amazing when this game comes together and everything works out fine. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of effort to get to that point of the game. And I wish the game would just let you, there's a mission mode called free play mode. And you just go around the city and do whatever. What a lot of people do, just dink around in the game. I wish there was another way for you to be able to just play the missions, just straight on, like, this is this mission, this is this mission. I know it gets rid of, I guess, the thrill of some people having to drive around, but I don't like the driving in this game. It's repetitive. It takes a long time to get from place to place, and just after a couple missions, it's like, I don't know if I want to drive. It take a couple minutes to drive to this place and then go to this place and have to drive to another place in the actual mission. It's, again, repetitive. And there are taxes in the game, and you can, do your taxi thing and warp around, but for one, it costs money. Not a lot of money, so that's not really an issue here. But it doesn't... okay, you can call a cab and say, come get me. First of all, it takes about 10 seconds to call. Then it takes another 30 seconds, if not more, to actually wait for the cab. And you're not even guaranteed to always get the cab in the first place. Sometimes they get stuck in traffic or whatever. So in 40 seconds, you may have been able to make it to the place, or at least halfway. And it's just, why? Why can't you warp? In L.A. Noire, 2 games ago for Rockstar, you could just get in the car and drive yourself, or you could have your partner drive for you. And if he's driving for you, you can just wait and watch the scenery, or you can just warp right to the place. What's the big deal of not having to warp to the place or whatever? Why can't you... I know it's Grand Theft Auto, so it is kind of a racing game, I guess, or just a driving game in general, but to me, I just want to be able to save all that driving and that extra work for the missions. Like I said, by the time I get to the mission, I've driven so much that I don't want to drive anymore. It would be better if, like, the driving was just a little bit more concrete in this game, and it is. It's better than 4, like I said, but it can also be a hassle too, especially these big weighty vehicles. And the GPS is kind of hard to follow sometimes, and I guess I'm more to blame as well, moronic. But yeah, that's a little bit of taste of the game, the city, how it works, how it plays, what I think about it. Again, how heists work. Yeah, like I said, is a well-built game. There's lots to do. It's fun. The story is probably the funniest it's been in a while, as well as just engaging it as it has been in a while. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of setbacks. They haven't really improved the GTA formula as much as they kind of just spraying on a different coat of paint and calling it new. That's unfair, I guess I should say. But yeah, it's a very good game. I gave this game 4 out of 5 stars. I read a review that's more concise and less addle-brain and talkative than I have been in this Qwiktro. But yeah, I think for Grand Theft Auto fans, I think you'll eat this up. For people that just play 1 or 2 games a year, Grand Theft Auto or like a Call of Duty, it's good. It's a very good game. You should probably buy it if you like it. But for people wanting a bit of change, this isn't it. Boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom.